everybody. Merry Christmas and welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. And we are here to talk about the Unwrapping Christmas series. Very exciting on Hallmark Plus. These are 4 movies starring some of our favorite leading ladies over on Hallmark Plus. And it's going to be a lot of fun to talk about them. And I'm film critic Rachel Wagner, and Megan's here.
Hello. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. How are you doing?
Pretty good, thanks. How are you?
Good. Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
Yeah, we had a great Thanksgiving. Yeah, it turned out really well. How about you?
Yeah, mine was very simple. I went to a friend's house and got to just enjoy their Thanksgiving, and they were very kind. And so I had to do almost no work, which that's a win in my book.
Yeah, that's that's the best. Exactly.
So I wanted to have you on to talk about these movies because we had previewed them.
Mm-hmm.
And you were pretty it was interesting previewing them, so I thought, yeah, we got to have you back to talk about them. And honestly, I was hoping that they would be better than they ended up being, and it's a little bit frustrating because the talent is really good. I like all of these people. All the love interests are really strong. I just wish the writing had been better pretty much across the board. But it's going to be fun to talk about it. But yeah, overall, what did you think?
Yeah, I do. I liked some more than others, definitely.
Yeah.
There were, I think, a few that stood out, or one I think that stood out to me as being a little bit better. But yeah, overall, and I feel like I wish they would have put them in a different order.
I agree.
I think the order was wrong.
I agree. That first one is definitely the worst one.
Yes.
And so to start off with that, I mean, I've already talked to a few people who were like, I'm not watching any more of these, and I don't blame them.
Right.
Because that first one was
rough.
I
think the order was off. Not that, and again, you know how much I love Natalie. It has nothing to do with her. It's just the story itself wasn't the strongest. And like, you weren't invested in all these characters and the ball and all of that. So to make it all about, I feel like once I watched the other ones, I thought, oh, I think I would have liked that one better if I was more invested in these characters.
Yeah. Yeah. I almost think that they should have started with the third one with Ashley's.
I do too.
I think that one, I mean, my favorite was actually the last one, but that did have a sense of sort of conclusion about it. So I think that one had to be the last.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they probably should have started with that third one, have that first.
I 100% agree. That was my favorite one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, oh, well, we'll talk about it.
Ho, ho, ho. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcast, especially at Christmas?
Do you enjoy the holiday previews, recaps, interviews, and bonus episodes?
If the answer is yes, please consider supporting the Hallmarkies Patreon. We need your help to do what we do both during the Christmas season and all year round.
But not only do you help a podcast led by strong, independent women by becoming a Patreon, you get to become a part of the Hallmarkies family.
Starting at only $2 a month as a patron, you will have access to our Facebook Patreon group where we talk about the movies, shows, and more all year.
We also have many monthly patron watch-alongs with guests like Lacey Chabert, Natalie Hall, Paul Campbell, Mary Lou Henner, and more, giving their behind-the-scenes details of their films.
As a patron, you also have the chance to provide input into the podcast and even join us at different tiers.
So this Christmas season, spread some cheer to the Hallmarkies Patreon and become a member today. You won't regret it.
Go to patreon.com/Hallmarkies to learn more.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
Have the first one. Well, let's talk about this overall idea. So you've got these 4 women who all work in this gift wrap store. Now, were you able to buy into that premise, or was it too unbelievable for you that the store could like exist and, this gift wrapping store?
I mean, so I'm also watching Mistletoe Murders, and in that she owns a all year-round just Christmas store. I'm like, I don't believe at all. Like, I don't understand an all year-round Christmas store. An all year-round wrapping store, I can believe. I mean, maybe not as big as that store is. I don't know what the retail is like in St. Paul, but
I don't know if it's supporting 4 people.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I hope they have like an e-commerce platform or something. But I do believe that you could have a wrapping store.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know how wildly successful it would be and support all these 4 ladies in their late 20s and 30s with these amazing houses. So I don't know about all of that.
I mean, it is a classic Hallmark trope of people with strange jobs, like the lady who all she does is make wreaths, or like the people who just sell hats, things like that, Christmas hats. It's just like, that's not a real job. I mean, I think it would be more likely that it was part of like an overall boutique or like a stationery store. It was also gift wrapping. So I don't think you could be just gift wrapping, but it looked really fun. I was like, I wish I could go to this place. I wish that we lived in a world where wrapping was so important that there was whole stores. Because the whole setup of it was very fun.
It was fun. It was really fun with all like the wrapping paper and same with these wrapping contests. I was like, oh my God, I want to be in a wrapping contest so badly.
Yeah.
I wonder which one I would be best at.
Yeah, it reminded me of the place that I got my my curtains. Where they have like the reams of fabric on the wall. That would kind of it reminded me of that. But from a wrapping paper. But yeah, would you say you are an overall a good gift wrapper or not?
I would say I am good. I spend a lot of time, and I do things like because I have a bunch of like random extra decorations that I'll like use in the wrapping, like little ornaments and stuff, and like in the bows, and so I try to make it really festive. Sometimes I just wrap boxes just to wrap them, have them under the tree.
Oh, that's smart. Because that's the thing is like, I actually don't do very much Christmas shopping. I usually will have some kind of present for my mom and dad. And maybe we do a sibling gift exchange. Some years we do, sometimes we don't. I have a few little things for my 2 good friends here. And that's about it. I don't have a lot of... I don't have that many. If you don't have kids, you don't have that many presents, really.
Well, and as the kids get older, when the kids were younger, there was so much to wrap. And my husband was notorious for wrapping at like midnight on Christmas Eve. And so when I came in the picture, I was like, we're not doing that. Start wrapping way early. But now that they're older, they want things like gift cards and cash and like a pair of really expensive shoes. It's not that there's not as much to wrap. And so I've already been
they want like video games
and stuff like that. Not as much to wrap, but I do love wrapping. How about you?
I enjoy it when I'm not the most patient person, so like a lot of times I'm just a little too like just get it done, kind of a thing. But I do like a well-wrapped gift. It is fun.
It is fun.
I wouldn't say I'm the best at it though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, let's talk about this first one. Unwrapping Christmas, Tina's Miracle is what it's called. And this is Natalie Hall and Alex Santos. And it's Tina, a successful business owner, meets a charming guy, Michael, just as her holiday season heats up with the town's Christmas gala and her busy store all wrapped up. When the gala is threatened by a Scrooge-like estate owner planning to sell the venue, rumors begin to threaten Tina and Michael's newfound connection. As Tina works to keep the venue's doors open for the gala, she just might unwrap a new chapter in her life with love and holiday cheer. So we agree this one is the weakest of the 4, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, the main problem with this movie, I like both of these leads. This is the second Christmas movie of the season for Alex Santos, who's pretty new to Hallmark, and he's really good, very charming. I liked him a lot, and I love Natalie. She's really good. Most of the problems is the plot was very groan-worthy with the whole save the the house for the venue, and her like blaming him and getting mad at him. And then the worst part about the movie was everything with his daughter was just so oddly done, so not great. Like they kept talking about that she had dyslexia, and I am by no means an expert, but I have actually had, like, I grew up with some dyslexia. I know a little bit about it, but what they were portraying on screen wasn't dyslexia. What they were portraying was it seemed more like autism, and they are not the same. Like dyslexia, again, I'm not an expert, but from my understanding, dyslexia is about learning, particularly reading and writing. And you get the words mixed up, you get the, things like that. It's not really about like social cues or the different ways of processing things like you have with autism on the autism spectrum. And I don't know why they didn't just say she has autism, if that's how they were going to portray it. It wasn't portrayed like you didn't really see her have trouble reading.
Well, they said that's why she had the camera, because she was like more of a visual person. But I agree, they were acting like and I'm not saying dyslexia is not a big deal. It is a big deal. And actually my sister went undiagnosed with it for a while until like young adulthood. So I'm not saying it's not a big deal, but they were acting like no one had ever heard of it before.
Yeah.
Or it was like this like crazy, like, it's like, okay, I mean, maybe in the 80s that would be the case, but I feel like nowadays most people know what dyslexia is. Most schools test for it pretty well. I don't think that everyone would be as they portrayed it as if it was something more like autism. I agree.
Yeah.
Something a little bit more more unknown, or not unknown, but just, I don't know.
The hard part about autism sometimes is that there is such a spectrum. And so it exhibits itself in so many different ways, that I think that's what makes it tricky as far as diagnosing and treatment and learning to adapt and all of that kind of stuff. And so many people do and do well. But it made the script feel lazy, and it was really uncomfortable. Whenever she was on screen, I was just like, oh, this isn't well done.
Yeah, I also don't believe that all these young Gen Z's kids are so into like Polaroids and like the other one.
Yeah.
The other movie, the girl was so into that like old-fashioned camera. I'm like, I'm sorry, I've never seen anybody care about any of that. None of my kids have a Polaroid. If I gave them a Polaroid, they'd be like, so what? Like,
well, and also those Polaroids are really expensive.
Yeah, I
you would not be. Yeah. I mean, I forget how much they are, but they're a lot.
Well, apparently he was very wealthy.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That's
He's
true.
rolling in the dough. But yeah, I agree. And it was hard to understand for me, like what age she was. Like,
yeah,
because she looked like she could have been in like, and I forgot to look at.
She looked like middle school.
Yeah, she looked like 8th grade, but she kind of acted very, very young.
Yeah.
And some of the ways like she spoke and the way she talked when they were at dinner, that one in the dinner scene, and she's like, adults are something about adults. I don't know. I was just like, that's not a 7th, 8th grader. That's more like a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
Like some of her dialogue, and then the way she called her Miss Tina. I mean, maybe that's just, I'm from a more liberal place, but like no one, I don't know, the Miss Tina thing, it just seemed very young. She seemed like the script called for a younger girl.
Yeah.
Then
like at the school that I work for, they call me Miss Rachel, but it's elementary school.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's a school setting. Like, it's of course in school, but like, and I mean, I guess
that's true.
You're right. I guess maybe it was about being polite, but I don't know. I thought at one point she would say, you can call me Tina.
Yeah, I agree. She definitely read younger.
Yeah.
And I mean, dyslexia, like it just takes you, I think, longer to like, for a lot of them, I think, to learn how to read. And it's just more of a process. And, like it was something that I was never diagnosed, but I know I had it. I was I didn't read till like 7, which is within the normal normal, but on the, later side of normal. And it just takes sometimes a little bit longer. But I thought he was pretty dreamy. I liked him.
He was. Yeah, he was really dreamy.
I liked when he asked her on the date.
Yes.
And a lot of times, because in these movies, they're working together on some kind of project or something, so they forget to have that scene of like awkward asking on dates.
Yeah. And I like that he was kind of into her from the beginning.
Yeah.
You know how we always say, like, we like that when the guy is just like into her, and he was.
Yeah, and so he asked her out again, but he's saying, "Oh, this is not a date, it's just a dinner. They're just having dinner."
Yeah.
Because she doesn't want she doesn't want to get the girls' hopes up, I guess.
Yeah, that also read younger.
She's like, I'm not in a spot to date or whatever. And it turns out, then she finds out that he is part of she thinks he's the guy that sold the property, because the house where the gal has been sold. And I mean, that would be a very, very fast sale if like within the month they couldn't have this event there. That seems a little extreme, but nevertheless. And I guess they couldn't get the historical approval. And but he asked her to dinner again. One thing that was terrible in all 4 of these movies is the digital snow was absolutely terrible. There's no reason to do it. Just have it be like, you can have the fake snow, like the snow blankets and other stuff like that. There's no reason it literally has to be snowing.
Mm-hmm.
You can just be a plain winter day, with no snow. It looked so bad, in my opinion.
I'm the worst. I never notice it. Maybe because I don't live in snow, but it never bothers me.
It was so bad in all 4. I was just like,
You're probably right. I mean, I'm sure you're right. It never occurs to me. I'm always like, oh yeah, I guess that's what snow looks like. I don't know.
So he like cooks for her and burns it was like a ham or something. I was like, how did you burn that? Like, you burned
right?
it.
Yeah.
And so then they end up making pasta. And so I was curious, what would be your go-to if you were still dating your husband, if you were trying to impress, what would be your go-to meal that you would make?
Oh, to cook him? Oh gosh. I don't know. Yeah, maybe like a pesto pasta, maybe? I can make pesto from scratch, so maybe something like that.
That'd be good.
Yeah, and I don't eat meat, and he does, so it'd have to be something. Yeah, probably something like that.
Yeah.
What about you?
I don't know. Like, I think I might make like I think I do make a pretty good steak, and I feel like that would be like that'd be pretty impressive, as long as you knew that they ate steak. But
yeah, I think that would be impressive.
Yeah. Hallmarkies, it's time to spruce up your Christmas season with holiday romances and dreamy happily ever afters. So pick up some festive fiction for yourself and gift another to the book lover in your life. Christmas at Sugar Plum Manor will transport you to the Nutcracker-inspired Edwardian era with a childhood friends to lovers romance. A hometown Christmas reunion at Second Chance Romance in the Christmas Catch will appeal to fans of the sports romance trope. The Christmas Tree Farm will delight with a breath of crisp, piney air at the family tree farm and a battle of wills with an ex-boyfriend. Make a holiday return to Prince Edward Island with a bit of matchmaking and meddling with mistletoe. Cozy up during the chilly weather and grab these books for 30% off and free shipping at bakerbookhouse.com. That's bakerbookhouse.com. Like, Haley, the daughter, starts putting in, like, she really wants them to date.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this whole conversation about her mom being dead and everything, and it was just not good. That was one of the worst low points of the movie.
Yeah.
And then there's there were a lot of near kisses. There's been a lot this season. I'm like, I thought we'd moved away from that with Hallmark. A lot of near kisses. The daughter ends up breaking up causing this near kiss. It's like, oh, jeez. And then you have this lady come up to her and says that you need to dig up as much dirt on this guy as you can, and he's right there. So then he's all offended, and so that's sort of the conflict. And you got to pressure him to not selling and nail that Michael Alonso. So that's the main conflict. And I mean, I would think that they could find an open space, a open hall, an open, place to have this if it's really such a big community event. But evidently it's tough to have the gala.
Again, I don't think you would they're not gonna bulldoze it on Christmas.
Yeah, but they find the historical angle of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And we also get a scene of them dancing together, which was kind of nice. That was nice. And because she apologizes, brings some cookies.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have your go-to cookie recipe?
Oh yeah, sugar cookies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I make pretty good cookies, but I probably would stick with like a classic chocolate chip with walnuts.
Oh, with walnuts.
Yeah, it's really good. And so then we get the gala, and we get our first of the gift wrapping competitions. And she wins. They almost all win.
Yeah. What was hers? Was her best wrap?
I think so. I forgot to write that part down.
Yeah.
Because then I think Mia's is like creative wrap.
Free wrap, which I'm like, I don't know what that means. But
yeah, free wrap. That's what they called it.
And I thought maybe
it didn't have tape, I think was the thing. It had to be like it was a bundle.
Yeah, but I thought other people, I don't know. That was a little confusing. But yeah, hers I think was just like best overall wrap.
Yeah, I didn't know there was such jargon when it came to gift wrapping.
Seriously.
Like free wrap versus and then I think I forget, one had fastest wrap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that was Ashley. Right? Is that her name?
Yeah. And then I forget which one Cindy had.
Best
the last
bow.
one. Oh, best bow. You're right. Yeah. So she wins, and there was this whole thing about how they were going to make the house into a school for Haley. I thought that was also weird, like random.
Yes. And again, it's hard to believe that you need a whole school because you're because of dyslexia. Like it just Again, schools these days, I mean, they're pretty well adept.
Yeah, you have
even
special
a public
ed
school would be. Yeah. I mean, I could spare. Whereas autism or ADHD, even these kinds of things, I do see that you would need or want a special school. But dyslexia, I don't know. I just don't feel like it was the right. Like you said, it was just portrayed. And again, I'm not to say it's not a big deal, and that it wouldn't be helpful to have special school, but it just kind of fell flat, I guess.
Yeah, because it's again, most of the time it's about learning for reading and writing, but like there's a kid at the school I work at that has already beaten me in chess one time. Like he's a very smart kid, just struggles with the reading and writing as far because he has very hard dyslexia. And so, but all the other topics, he's fine.
Yeah.
He can do math, he can do science, he can do all that other stuff. So there's no need to, whereas I think autism is more all encompassing as far as your brain is just different.
Yes.
Well, this one, I would give it a pretty low score. It was pretty bad. And like I said, it was a bad way to start out the franchise.
Yeah, it really was. It's unfortunate. Yeah, maybe like a 2.5. Or what's her scoring thing again?
What's that?
What's the scoring thing?
To 5.
Christmas? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So I would probably give it a 1. It just was not good. The dialogue was very poor. If I was going to give it a 2, it would just be because I like these two leads quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be nice. I'll give it a 2, but.
Yeah. So then we have Unwrapping Christmas Mia's Prince. And this stars Catherine Davis and Nathan Vitti. And it's Mia, an accountant at All Wrapped Up, is stunned when local celebrity Beau Kavanaugh, who looks just like her favorite romance novel hero, enters her life. Despite her doubts, Beau, an heir to a wealthy family, proves his feelings for her are real, even as his family disapproves. Mia soon finds herself swept up in a fairy tale romance that's straight out of her dreams. So I do think this one is better than the first one because at least it's just sort of a generic Hallmark movie as opposed to like really awkward and uncomfortable and like strange. But it defies belief that that not only that he would be fake fiancéing it with this other woman, but then she would also be in love with somebody else. And like it was ridiculous. It's not like this is happening in the 1600s or something. Like this is a modern story. Like nobody is going to have to lie about who they want to be with, who they want to like. It was just so ridiculous. How long were they planning on keeping up this fake fiance thing? Him and this what was her name? Uh that this lie, and then but then she was in love with a completely different person. Like how long were they planning on doing this?
And what's the point? Like there's one scene with the mom where she's like, you have to be married to take over the family business, and I'm thinking, what? Like again, like what century are we in? This isn't like no, especially like no, I don't think anybody cares if a man is married or not, if he's running a business, family business. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's true as well. Like
it's like just weird. I don't know. And then
the idea that your marital status would somehow affect your inheritance of a family company is absurd, and that they would. I can understand just because these are these movies, like working in a fake fiance plot, like that's fine. But like when they added the layer of that, then the person that it wasn't even with our heroine, it was with somebody else who was also in love with another person. It was just like, come on, these are grown-ups.
Yeah, it was like they wanted him to be a prince, but they couldn't make him a prince, so they just made him a rich guy. But those things just don't, like having to get married and having to marry the right person or the specific person. It works when you're talking about royals, but it doesn't work when you're talking about rich people. Like, I mean, maybe a little bit, but not to the extent that they took it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Like if they wanted to do fake fiance for this one, they should have just had, for some reason, to have them having to be fake fiancéed. Like maybe maybe they're friends or something, and she needs a date to the gala or something like that. So she says she says he's her boyfriend or something like that. Who knows? Just something like that. Like that's more believable than him being in another relationship while his fake girlfriend is also in another relationship.
Yeah,
like, come on.
I mean, if that was real, like I know it's not real, but it's a big red flag that he's like,
that you're lying.
Yeah, it's fine. Like we're not really engaged. We're not really engaged. It's like there's literally articles about you in the paper, dude. Like
how long were they planning on keeping this up?
Apparently pretty long.
I guess so. This is like very involved.
Yeah. Did they ever date at one point? That also, like, were they ever actually a couple, or were they always a fake couple?
It seemed like it was always a fake couple.
Right? So it's like that makes no sense.
Yeah. So he's all this pressure to keep the family foundation alive, and he's pretending to be engaged. And he's like, when I'm with you, I feel like myself. His fiance is in love with a whole nother person. And I said, this seems needlessly complicated.
Mm-hmm.
It really did. And I love Catherine. It's kind of bums me out because both of her Hallmark movies were not the best as far as her lead. There was this and the Welcome to Valentine's or whatever.
No.
Neither of them were awful, but she's so good. I just like, it bums me out, that because like Christmas on Fifth Avenue, have you ever seen that?
I don't think so, but I know it's one of your favorites.
Oh, it's so good. I loved it so much. And Santa's Got Style, she's so good in both of those. So it kind of bums me out that she's had, I think, bad luck when it comes to Hallmark.
Yeah.
Because she's good. There's
She is
nothing like
good.
I would say the cast in general for all four of these are great. I have no
Great.
complaints about the cast.
No, I love every single one of them. And yeah, I agree. It was in the writing, and
Yeah.
I don't know. And that whole premise too, like all, the wrapping aside, the four best friends from college, like it's cute. And it's like it's fun to have like the different girls in each movie like pop up. It's a cute idea. It just wasn't really like the writing. I don't know. The story wasn't strong enough.
So
But
she
yeah.
really wants this first edition of Christmas in Derbyshire book. That's her favorite. It's like Jane Austen, but in Christmas.
I was thinking Bridgerton.
Oh yeah, Bridgerton. Yeah.
Like they're going with Bridgerton a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like they were leaning into that.
And for not sticking up to his family. And then she has this whole drama with her sister who just kind of takes her for granted and has her like do all this stuff, watch her dog and stuff like that. And her sister says that she's jealous. She's always been jealous of her. And then they have this moment. I was the one jealous of you. And they said about her mom, I'm just glad she's not here to see what a failure I am. Oh,
I know. That's sad. I know.
And then she says, I don't want to be this person you walk all over, which I thought was like a good moment for her character.
Yes.
Because her sister just would like come over and was it cat or dog? I can't remember. But anyway, bring her animal. It was a cat. Bring her cat. And that's just rude. So, and you deserve the greatest love story. And then she goes to the bookseller and it's sold and she's devastated because it's like a first edition. Turns out his mom bought the book. Claire was her name. She bought the book. And so that kind of came out of nowhere. I was like, what? I thought his mom hated her, but whatever. And she's going to hire her sister to cater the gala. She's like, oh, we're going to put our trust in you. That she was going to spend this money on the book, but she's instead going to invest it into her sister, which is smart. Way much better to invest in people and experiences than it is to have another thing.
Yes.
Turns out so he finally confesses to his mom and the mom is like, what? Why would you do that? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. That's what all of us watching it at home are thinking. Why did you do this?
Why would you do this? This is unnecessary.
I felt for the mom there. I was like, yeah. And it turns out that the book has been donated and she wins it. And so, and then his mom apologized to her. And then we have the freestyle rap competition. The freestyle rapping, where it's just like, it's like a bundle kind of.
Yeah.
It's like it's almost fabric or whatever.
Yeah.
So, and then we keep having seen our other characters coming in and out of all of these movies, which was kind of a fun element. Like you see Cindy coming in with the mistletoe and the different things. So I liked that. And he confesses his love for her and they take the picture under the mistletoe and we get that. So the third one, well, what would you give this one out of 5?
Maybe 3.
Yeah, I would probably. So I gave the other one a 1. I'd probably give this one a 2.5, just because it was just unnecessarily complicated.
Yeah,
the plot, but I did like the leads and it had its moments. Okay, then we have Unwrapping Christmas, Lily's Destiny, and this stars Ashley Newbrow and Torrance Coon. And it's Lily, the marketing guru of All Wrapped Up, believes the universe guides us to our destiny, and it appears that it is guiding her toward a celebrity realtor. However, when she feels an unexpected spark with journalist Sean Whitlock during an interview, her heart starts to question everything. As her chemistry with Sean grows, Lily begins to wonder if he's the true match she's been waiting for all along. And I'm a little bummed with this one because I really liked Ashley and Torrance, but I love Franco Lopresti, and it kind of makes me sad that he got thrown into the other guy role in this because he's so charming and he's great, and I'm like, he deserved more than that this Christmas. Like, why is he like? Why is this the only spot for him this season? I don't know.
He played it well though.
He did. I mean, he did play a playboy well, but he's so good. Did you see Well Suited for Christmas? It was 2022.
I don't know. I don't remember.
It's outstanding. Like, it is one of the best romantic comedies, period. Not just TV movies
what is
I've
it
ever
about?
seen. It's about, with Well Suited for Christmas, it's about this woman who is a designer, fashion designer, and she has to make this suit for this contest, and she makes it for this guy who's like a Mark Zuckerberg type or whatever. He's but not nerdy. Not nerdy like Zuckerberg, but in that same position.
Yeah.
And it's them, and it's just so well done. I highly recommend it. Highly.
All right,
but anyway, I was just a little bummed to see him. Like, I was happy to see him, but I was like, why is this the only spot we're getting him this Christmas?
Yeah.
He should be in everything. So this one, like, it was pretty cute. The whole dynamic between, so she's like the marketing person, so she gets asked to do this interview by this guy Sean, and they have this sort of back and forth. In the meantime, she's been on this date with this guy Franco, this guy, I wrote down Franco, he had another name, but anyway, played by Franco, but he's kind of like a snob. He's sort of a pretty boy, and he's so handsome. I mean, everybody is, but he's really good. And but she's not feeling it as much. She's really likes this guy Sean, but she thinks that Sean is in like a relationship. She thinks that he's married. He's not married. And he thinks that she's dating Franco, but she's not really. So there's like these miscommunications. But I thought this was pretty cute.
I agree. You know? I thought it was my favorite of the three. I thought it was cute. I liked her little intern. I thought she was kind of cute. Mm-hmm. Although, again, I don't believe that she'd be that excited about the VCR camera. I just don't.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, again, I was like, what's with these young kids into these old technology? I don't buy it. But I did think she was cute. I thought the story was cute. And, yeah.
There were a couple weaknesses for me in this. Like, why did that kid destroy the gingerbread Christmas tree? It was so weird. Like, I felt like it just came out of nowhere. That all of a sudden he's like, ah. I'm like, what? I didn't do that. And then that lady, that Whitney, I think was her name, she was like devastated that he did this. And I was like, why did he do that? Like, it was so weird. And then she ends up decorating. It was like this big thing that she did with her dad. So she has all of this like mixed feelings about decorating the tree, and they end up with this space themed, and it was so strange. Like, they have the tree is like a rocket, but it's on its side. Like, it's flying through the air. It looked so odd. Like, why don't you have a tree and then have like it'd be so easy to do a space tree because planets are balls, so you can easily do a space tree. Would not be hard. And then you have little ornaments of space shuttles and different things like that. It was so weird. I thought what she ended up doing,
it was a little bizarre. Yeah,
it was bizarre, but it means a lot to this lady because she thought that she wasn't invested and didn't care, but she's just been grieving with her dad being gone. And so then it turns out there's also the lady Whitney. She ends up on having a date to the gala with this guy. There's this older man, and they have like a cute little side relationship. And she's also up against her at the end with the fastest wrapping. And it's the only one where the unwrapped girls didn't win.
Right, because she let her
Whitney wins. And so then, yeah, we finally have our it was nice, like that she had on the telescope, Merry Christmas, Dad, love you to the moon. That was sweet.
Mm-hmm.
That was nice. And then they have their big meetup where they finally tell each other that he's not married. I'm not dating Franco. All of that. And why didn't you just ask me? Yes.
Yeah.
And then she says, the nagging lady, she's Whitney. She says, I sometimes pay too much attention to the way things look. So she apologizes and everything. These last two were like the most simple ones, but I think that's why they were better than the first two.
Agreed. Yeah.
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 So I would give this one like, I'd give it like a 3.5. I would give it like 3.5.
Yeah, I
What
do
would
the
you
same.
give it?
3.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies merch store.
Are you looking for that perfect gift for the postable, hardy, or Hallmarky in your life?
What about getting that t-shirt or hoodie that will help you stand out at your next holiday party?
Now is the time to check out the Hallmarkies merch store.
Full of festive designs by artists like Jessica Miller, Carrie from Hallmark Comics, and more.
You can even have more than just shirts, but totes, cell phone cases, notebooks, mugs, and more.
And it isn't just Hallmark. We have designs for Anna Green Gables, Man from Snowy River, The Nanny, and more.
Every purchase at the merch store goes to help support the podcast and allows us to make the great content you know and love.
There are frequent sales, so go to tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies or see the link in the description.
That's tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies.
Our last one is called Olivia's Reunion, and it stars Cindy Busby and Jake Epstein. And it's Olivia, the gift wrapping expert at All Wrapped Up, makes a delivery to a remote cabin only to find her ex-boyfriend Benjamin on the other side of the door. After the pair have a minor spat, an unexpected storm traps them together. Neither of them is happy to be forced to spend time together. However, as talk turns to shared memories, old feelings and warmth begins to resurface, and they are left wondering if it's possible to get it right a second time. So this one was, I think, pretty solid. It's simple. They're two exes that are stuck in a cabin. So there's that feeling that there's feelings under the surface, and they get to spend more time together and all those things. The second chance romance, which are usually pretty fun. I thought they had like decent chemistry with between Jake Epstein and Cindy Busby. I would say this is Cindy's best movie in a while, actually.
Yeah,
she's had good. She hasn't had the best track record lately, but I'd say this one was pretty solid, and just their like back and forth was entertaining. And they end up going and meeting this girl Jen, and they think that Jen and Jake Epstein's character, that they have a thing together, and so there's sort of this back and forth. Is she in love with you? Whatever. She ends up giving them food, which was nice of her because they don't have any food at the cabin.
Yeah, that stressed me out. I was like, oh my God, what are they going to do?
They're going to starve.
That really stressed me out.
Yeah, so Jen's like, she's great. We like Jen.
Yeah, she was good. I was thinking that in this movie, like the other woman wasn't like bad. The bad one was, or like the mean one was the mom. But they made the other woman like really nice and friendly, and I kind of because it's not like they went on 2 dates, so she wouldn't really care that much if he was interested in his ex-girlfriend, right? Like sometimes in these movies, they make the people like so invested in these relationships that never were even real. So I'm glad they didn't do that. So yeah, that was good.
It's true, and there's another guy there at the end who kind of is like a soft place for Jen.
Who is that guy?
I don't even know who that is, but anyway, he's like a love interest for Jen. So she's not going to be alone.
I was like, where did this guy come from? Is he a brother? And if he's the brother, why was the mom only obsessed with setting up Jake Epstein and not the other brother?
I don't know.
Confused. But sure, great for Jen.
So he's like a wannabe writer. She ends up reading his book, and I thought that was going to be like a bigger deal. Mm-hmm. He didn't really care that much. He wasn't, because some people, like they don't want you to read their book that's in process. Yeah. But he didn't mind it too much. There was also a running thing with the girls trying to take care of her dog.
Mm-hmm.
This dog was causing all kinds of chaos.
Yeah, that dog needed doggy daycare.
Yeah, he really did.
That dog was quite the, yeah. Oh my God. I was like, this dog
Yeah,
is a
Olivia
genius.
is not giving her dog proper training.
No.
Not at all. And then but there were a lot of cozy scenes in this with them like different times, different meals that they make and drinking hot chocolate together. And she's like in these sweats and all green sweats and decorating the tree together and stuff like that, which was fun.
That was cute. Yeah.
Yeah. So much decor in this cabin. Like you think that that's the only thing that they have is Christmas decor in this this cabin. It's amazing. And they find mistletoe.
Yeah.
And so that's when they bring the mistletoe for the gala. You see at the end. You've seen it on all these. He gets a little annoyed with her reading, but really not too bad. And then there's near kiss, but then his family arrives.
Yeah, it's a double near kiss.
Yeah, that's true.
My husband was like, they're like going in, and my husband's like, and the family comes now. And then something else happened. The lights turned on. And then they were like, okay. And then I was like, no, now the family comes now.
Like, that's not stopping anybody from kissing Jake Epstein. Let's be real.
Yeah, I know. The light is like, let's blow out the candles. It's like, no, you do not need to do that right now. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's like a double near kiss.
Well, it turns out, so I guess the dog needs like the right song.
That was
in order to and so then they have dinner and there's that guy there for Jen. And he says, "You think I'm going to let someone else kiss you under the mistletoe at the gala?" So
what about the mom? The mom was really intense. Like,
yeah, she was intense.
I'm sorry, but like she was so mean to her. Like, I get like you would not be that mean in person to someone.
No.
Like it's just like that was like a little ridiculous. I did like that he kind of stood up to her right then and there, and it was like nipped in the bud pretty. Well, it wasn't nipped in the bud when he was talking to her on the phone, but once they were in person, he kind of nipped it in the bud. I don't understand why he didn't just tell her over the phone. But
yeah, but there was a pretty good scene when he stands up for her to his mom.
It was good. Yeah.
So then the mom apologizes.
Yeah. But I was like, wow, this mom's she's a little like,
yeah, it's a lot.
I don't know. Maybe if I was Cindy Busby, it would be a little.
Although I guess in her favor, this is a lot to digest. Like they weren't even getting along, and all of a sudden they're together. And are they like? It's a lot to sort of absorb in one day.
That's why I feel like he should have told her over the phone, because it's all. I guess it is also weird to finally get to your cabin and there's this other woman there. Like,
right? Yeah.
You're finally
they end up going snowshoeing, and that's kind of cozy. Like there was a lot of cozy scenes in this. Yeah. And but they make it to the gala just in time to enter the best in beau. Literally right in there. She barely makes it, but she wins.
Yay!
And then hangs up the mistletoe, and and then they've had in all four. They have this rah 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 cheer. They do, and so they do that at the end and then they say until next year, which is like, are they planning on making more of these?
I doubt it.
I highly doubt it.
I don't think so. But
no.
Yeah.
So we'll see, but I doubt it. And they didn't. I feel like they barely marketed these things, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see them on Hallmark Channel next Christmas.
If we don't, you mean?
No, if we do.
Oh, you'd be surprised if we see them. Okay.
I think we'll eventually. I think we'll maybe for Christmas in July. I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that them putting these on next July.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so and being like the network premiere of.
Right. Yeah.
You know, of the Unwrapping Christmas saga. This one I would also give 3.5.
I'd give it a 3.
Yeah. So there we go. That is Unwrapping Christmas. Let us know what you think of these 4 movies. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section or on Twitter. And see, you don't have any social media right now.
No.
You're good. But you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all over social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. And make sure you're following the podcast at Hallmarkies Pod, Hallmarkies Podcast, all over social media. And if you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. We really appreciate that. And if you're watching on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate that so much. We also have the Patreon group, which is a really fun experience. You get to be part of our Patreon events and other perks. So please check it out. We have our merch store. We have lots of fun designs. We've got lots of cool new designs based on your favorite classic holiday movies, like It's a Wonderful Life and Home Alone and all of that. So check it out. And also, I forgot to say that we found out that Hallmark Plus, you can actually access it through the Hoopla app. So if you have the library free Hoopla app, you can rent the Hallmark Plus. So for free. So if you've been wanting to watch the Hallmark Plus stuff, you should check out Hoopla app because it is on there, which is kind of cool. So anyway, but that's what's going on here. Let us know what you think, and Merry Christmas, everybody. Bye.
Merry Christmas.